are super excited to have Dr. Harold McCray from the DC public school system. He's a high school principal and he's just an educator, leader extraordinaire. We're super excited to have him on the show to share his K-12 journey with our listeners and our viewers. So Dr. McCray, can you tell us what's going on in your life and in your K-12 career right now?
Yeah, ironically, I just transitioned from elementary school. So I was in Prince George's County for 14 years. And I transitioned over to DC, where I was placed at Stanton Elementary School for the last 4 years. And mid-year, I made this transition to go into high school.
Wow.
I kind of want to go back to where I started. I started my principal's in a high school in Prince George's County. And I had the most amazing time of my life. It was probably like the most important for my stomping grounds of my learning. And I told myself that if I ever had the chance, I would return back to high school. And here I am. District of Columbia Public Schools is opening up a brand new high school. Not many principals get the opportunity to start a school from the ground up. I thought it was an amazing opportunity, and I definitely wanted to pursue this, especially moving into my career. I kind of felt like I was stuck a little bit, always working kind of like in Title I schools, and not that I don't enjoy them. I think they're probably by far a phenomenal experience, and anybody who's going into leadership should definitely work in a Title I school because it gives you such an eye-opening experience, especially knowing that I've come from that particular background. It was easy for me to connect. But I also want to make sure that my resume is diverse. As you know, I'm moving up in the ladder and hopefully will pursue other career opportunities outside of being a principal one day. So, you know, just making sure that I'm killing two birds with one stone, because for me, my motto is making sure that all students receive a high quality education, no matter where the school is located, no matter what the race and population is. But however, for us African-American males who are leading these schools, it's important to ensure that our stories are being told just like this. Outside of that, waiting for baby number 3 to drop within a few weeks. So all girls, true girl dad. And it's just been a blessing, man. That's what's going on right now.
That's what's up, man. So you have 2 children right now, 2 young ladies. What are they right now?
4. Well, one will be 5 next month. And the other one just turned 3 in January.
That's awesome, man. There's nothing like, look, we wear a lot of titles in this profession, but there's nothing greater than dad, right? So that's really cool. That is really cool. So how long have you been in K-12 education?
This is year 18.
Wow.
18. Yeah.
That was quick, don't it?
Yeah. I can't even believe it. It felt like just yesterday I was in the classroom teaching those 5th graders yelling at me about crab legs.
That's awesome. So has all of your experience been in the DC, what do they call it? The DMV? Yeah.
It has been. I started in Prince George's, and now DC, District of Columbia Public Schools, is my second school district. So I've only been in 2. Okay.
That's really cool. That definitely shows some stability though. So that's really cool, man. So, I mean, obviously you have your doctorate degree. Like what's the future hold for you? Are you looking to eventually be a superintendent maybe one day?
I was told when answering this question to never say no, because you just never know what's going to happen. Although it's not in my particular path, I'm not close to it. So I'm open to it. But for me, honestly, after being the principal, my number one role is just to go back and mentor new principals and assistant principals. I kind of felt like there's a gap missing in that process. And I believe, you know, working in Prince George's County, I received a whole lot of professional development from the Wallace Foundation and the individuals who groomed me to be an administrator in Prince George's County. I was able to take those teachings over and add to what DCPS is adding into me. And I feel like I want to share that with individuals who are going into the profession, because it's totally different than when we started a long time ago. I mean, you know, 18 years ago, and looking at the profession now, the makeup of the teaching staff is different. The expectations are different. And, you know, just making sure that you can mentor people, because that mental state of being in this position is a lot to deal with, especially with everything that's going on in our society. You know, looking our children in the face, how do you, even when you have that anger inside, like, how do you still continue to smile and give them hope to believe that everything is going to be okay, facing what they have to face daily? So
that's real, man. That is really real. So, I mean, you said that, you know, most of your career has been at the elementary level. Is that correct?
Yeah, majority has been in elementary. Yep.
That's cool. So tell me more about this school, man. It seems like this is a great opportunity for you. Yeah. What's that all about? I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah. So in Washington, D.C., in Ward 3, the high school that's currently over there is really overpopulated. And so to kind of relieve some of that the population in that particular school, they had to open up a new neighborhood high school.
Okay.
And so it's opening, if you ever, well, you've been in DC, so it's in the Georgetown area. So it's literally in the Georgetown. If you know where Georgetown Cupcakes is, it's literally like a 3-minute drive down the street from there.
Okay.
And so it's opening in the fall. And the great thing about it is that it's only going to have 200 ninth graders and 50 10th graders. And so each year we'll be building to add more to the actual school till it's all said and done. It's also a modernization project as well. And so it'll be building on adding new classrooms and new, different facilities within the building. Right now, it used to be the Georgetown Day School. So they kept the school in pretty good condition. So now it's just a matter of going and cleaning it up. Right now, the construction that's happening for the first year, phase 1, we're building a new kitchen, a new cafeteria because the school didn't have one. And we're only opening up 2 floors within the building as they're, modernizing the other side while we'll be there. So it's a great experience. So it's a small comprehensive high school. It definitely will be geared towards high performing. And so like all the students coming in, everybody's taking honor courses. So we're not offering any general courses. Courses will be on the honors level. And we're also going to have 2 CTE programs focused on engineering. And the other one will be on IT, computer maintenance. And so when the children get done, there's 4 years within the program, they get 2 certifications. I believe it's coming from Cisco, but it's just an awesome experience. And of course, we'll have dual enrollment and athletics and all of those things that most high schools have. The only thing that we will not have is a football team, just because our field is not high school regulated, but we will have basketball, volleyball, track, cross country, tennis, golf, and soccer. So it's going to be an amazing experience. Right now, the work has been about recruiting students. And so we have, with the number that I gave you, the 250, over 500 students in the district applied for the school, which is great. Wow. And about almost close to 300 made us in the top 3 of their choice. And so mix that in with the neighborhood students that live there. We'll see what happens come enrollment time, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's been an awesome experience. And now at this particular juncture for the month of February and March is really going to be focused on hiring staff.
Great. So you're a planning principal right now.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
There's a lot of that happening. A lot of meetings, a lot of decisions and things happening. So
no, that's really cool, man. And you're right. A lot of people don't get that opportunity to do that. So yeah, that's really cool. That's going to be like your baby. I know you're actually having a baby, but this is going to be like your baby too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and doing it all at the same time.
So how many assistant principals are you going to eventually have, and how many will you have when you start?
So for the opening year, we'll start out with 1 assistant principal. Hopefully when it's all said and done, it at least should be no minimum of 4.
Okay.
So
1 for each grade level.
Yep. And then we'll hopefully have a counselor per grade level. It all will depend upon what the budget brings in, but eventually that's the dream. When I was at the high school in Prince George's County, we had 6. So so we had, sometimes with the freshman class at that particular school, I believe it was like a 500 incoming class. So they had to have about 2 administrators. But again, all of this is going to be an awesome experience, man. So I'm looking forward to it. And then thinking about the other staff, right now in all schools, when you think about the trauma that our children are dealing with, mental health is a big thing that we have to focus on. So, of course, we'll have a school psychologist and a social worker, and then seeing what mental health partnerships that we have within the district that can also support those things, because you just never know what students and staff are going through. And just to have that experience to be able to receive those services while you're at work or in school is phenomenal. The last school I came from, we partnered with Georgetown. They had this thing called MedStar, which was WISE. Okay. And it was free counseling for parents, for students, and staff. And a lot of them took advantage of it. And so I definitely want to make sure that we have something like that going into the fall.
No, that's really cool. That is awesome. So what will your demographic makeup be? Will it be like 50-50 boys and girls in terms of percentages?
So right now, it's a little hard to answer, but from the feeder school that they're coming from, it's very diverse. It's very diverse. So I'm looking probably for another diverse population as well. And I'm making sure that is also at the forefront of my mind in hiring, making sure it's diverse. But, my thing in education, I always want to make sure and ensure that Black males are in the classrooms, providing that experience, being one, working with them. My last school, we had over 20 in the elementary school.
Wow.
It was rare. Yeah, man. It's rare. And that's between, the classroom teachers, who else? The not just the custodians, but the related arts teachers. The assistant principal was a male, the dean was a male. And so our partners, like our corporate partnerships and things, they were males as well. And it really played a good amount of experience and support in that particular area, and it worked out well. And ironically, when I looked at it, all the women in the upper grade levels were teaching math and all the men were teaching English language arts, which is very rare, but it was a great experience. And so, that school is thriving and I continue and wish them much success. And so over here, I do still understand that, I have to have a diverse population. It's just the way of the world. And, I want kids to see that, we all can get along. We all can be in a community and we can all thrive and be successful together. And, full throttle off the break for me, it's all about those academics, because I want to make sure that when those kids get out of there, not only can they get in college, but be able to sustain themselves and become global leaders once they leave. That's the whole goal for me.
No, that's real. I love that, man. So let's go back 18 years ago. Have you always wanted to be an educator?
Absolutely not. No, man. I was supposed to be a politician.
Yeah.
I majored in political science at Delaware State University.
Yeah.
I would have interned for Thomas Carper, and Joe Biden in Delaware at the time when they were just senators, and when Joe Biden was a senator. And it was just a unique experience. I just felt like it wasn't the direction. You spend 4 years studying that. Ironically, I started out as social studies education.
Wow.
And, because my friends went into education, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it too. And then they ended up dropping the program because a lot of people wasn't majoring in the social studies education. Mm-hmm. They were going to continue with those who were in it, but it was like 4 of us. And I was like, no. So I went into political science and I really, understanding the government, and my mindset, it was about how would I be able to give back to the community. That was just like the biggest thing. I felt like I was going to come back, be the mayor of Philadelphia, help clean up the streets. Like that was my ultimate plan. Yeah. But then, things happen. I was the SGA president, went to a conference. There was this guy screaming about Black men don't take advantage of education. Here we are offering you a free master's, and all you have to do is to promise to teach for 3 years.
Wow.
At that particular time, all I heard was free in Washington, D.C. So it was Howard University. So I was just like, oh, bet I'm definitely going to do that. And I fell in love with it, man. I went in and it was just interesting learning how the brain works, the psychology of children. At that particular time, focused on teaching children how to read. And, it was all interesting to me. And just the joy and love that you get, it was very fulfilling in that career. They said, all teachers don't make money. I was like, yeah, but I'll never forget my first check, $957.37. Oh, wow. And, but it took, back then that was a lot. It took me a long way, but it was important for me to give back. So the money didn't even matter to me. I was like, the money will come eventually. I wasn't pressed about it at that particular time. I was a young kid, 21, straight out of college, didn't really have a lot of responsibilities outside of teaching, but it was such a joy, man. And so that's why I stayed in the profession. The joy and the reward I get for seeing kids excel, there's no other fulfilling feeling for me.
No, you're right, man. I totally agree with you. And we actually have that in common. I was a poli-sci major and actually was accepted in the 7 different law schools, man, but it just wasn't the plan that I believe God had for me. There's an old saying that if you want to make God smile, tell him your plans, because he might have other plans. So, yeah. And so that's what happened with me too, man. And I also believe that if you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. So, I feel like this is work, but it's God's work. And so I feel like, some of the benefits that we get as educators are truly priceless, because when you have those young people come back to you and tell you how you poured into them, and then tell you about specific examples, and you're like, I don't remember that, but they remembered. And that's all that matters, right? Because you poured into them, you had an impact on their life, and might have even been the difference in their life, And I also feel like we are, in fact, saving lives, this work that we're doing, because truthfully, children, especially, young men that look like us, they have 1 or 2 choices. They can go the right path, or they can go that path really is along the present pipeline. We don't want that either. So it takes on that sense of urgency for me. But, you've been in it 18 years. If you had to go back 18 years, would you do it all over again?
I would. Knowing what I know now, I might do things a little differently, but I would. I think, my career has really grounded me in making sure that especially our boys are seeing positive role models, understanding that, you might not get that contract. You may not be able to get into the NBA and the NFL. what else can you fall back on? Making sure they have access and opportunity was important for me, and just, that work. So no, I wouldn't change it. I would definitely go down that path. I might do things a little differently, but I definitely would continue on this path.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I want to take this moment to honor you for the 18 years that you've poured into this wonderful profession, the K-12 profession, all the many lives that you touched. I'm sure you've touched a lot of students' lives, but also in your capacity as a school leader, I'm sure you touched a lot of the lives of your staff members, including teachers, assistants, all the auxiliary personnel that work in our schools each and every day. So definitely honor you for all that you've done in this K-12 profession, my brother.
Greatly appreciated, brother. And same to you.
Thank you.
Hard work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, Dr. McCray, I want to thank you for coming on the My K12 Career Show to share your stories with our viewers and our listeners. But before you leave, could you please leave us with some parting words of wisdom? Tell us how we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. Parting words of wisdom. One thing I found in this work is just to continue to be authentic and be yourself. I think students really connect to that. Adults really connect to that. And your transparent actions will lead you in places that you wouldn't even imagine. I think for me, it's been important in this career to just choose to be yourself. You can study the greats, but don't do exactly what they've done. Take what they've done and make it better. Add things to your tool belt. Don't worry about the teacher next door. You can get things from them, grow from them, but make sure you make it your own, because kids can read you and they read you very well. So just be yourself, stay true to it, and never give up, because these kids definitely need us.
That's what's up.
To get in contact with me, it's very simple. Dr. H Speaks on Twitter, Dr. H Speaks on Instagram, and as well, Harold McCray on LinkedIn and Facebook. So I'm out there. I'm all over the place, but I'm definitely easy to find.
That's awesome, my brother. And look, you're right, man. Your authenticity comes through even on the screen. So yeah, keep doing you, my brother, as they say, right? So,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
100%. Well, again, thank you so much, my brother, for coming on the show. I feel like I've met a new friend, and this won't be the last time we'll communicate. I'm a big believer that iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, my brother, and we definitely wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.